Well, welcome into this live update. I am First Alert Meteorologist David Ernst. I'll be guiding you through things as we go through this evening, let you know what to expect as a round of accumulating snow moves into central and eastern Wisconsin through the night. We will be expecting to be on the wetter, heavier side, at least around the Fox Valley, perhaps a little lighter and fluffier as you get to the north. It will be a general 1 to 3 inch snowfall for everybody, and then there should be a couple of heavier bands that set up, one to the north of Green Bay and the Fox Valley, the other one to the south of Oshkosh, and that likely leads to some higher end totals in the 3 to 5 inch range. So not a major snowstorm, but certainly going to be enough to make for some slippery travel on your Thursday morning. Again, I am First Alert Meteorologist David Ernst. You can head over to my Facebook page at any time, and it's David Ernst, WBAY Meteorologist, and I appreciate a follow. And if you have not already done so, you may want to download our free WBAY First Alert weather app. I've got the QR code there underneath the camera image. We'll go ahead and get going here in just a second. We've got the severe weather outlook in the moderate category. It is a First Alert weather day for tonight and into Thursday morning. As I said, this is not going to be a blockbuster storm system, but it is going to be one to watch and certainly will create some issues for the morning drive as we're heading out and about on Thursday. This is mainly going to be an overnight kind of an event. We will see the snow wrap up by 7 to 9 a.m. the way things are looking right now. And I would expect that for the most part, the morning drive is dry in terms of falling snow, at least the traditional commute times, but there is likely to be some slush and some slickness out on the road surface. So let me go ahead and get back into the weather system here, and let's get going. This is First Alert Viper Max. We've got it zoomed in on the Green Bay radar, or at least that's the radar that we are using. Now, it's possible that some of the leading edge of this is evaporating before it can reach the ground, but you will note as we take the wide view here, there's quite a bit of precipitation all the way back towards the Twin Cities. In fact, I do want to call something out here because my red arrow, Brian's watching, from Minneapolis to the south, you'll notice an area of deeper blue. That darker blue is one of those heavier snow bands. And so the expectation will be for that band to track on into the north woods, likely somewhere in the vicinity of our Highway 64 corridor, so Antigo to Marinette, north to, say, U.S. Highway 8 up into parts of southern Forest County is one spot where we would anticipate some heavier snowfall. The next batch is going to come just north of the area of low pressure. You can see some heavier rain setting up here just south of the rain-snow mix. We likely see another band set up that would end up towards Fond du Lac or just south of there, and that as well could lead to some higher end totals for those areas. So quick look at the watches and warnings. It's all warnings and advisories, really. You do have a winter storm warning there, Twin Cities and northward, that to account for that heavier snow band that we were just talking about. But everybody else is in the winter weather advisory in central and eastern Wisconsin. The exception for our area is Florence County, not included in any products. You will still see snowfall, but likely not rising enough to meet that advisory level criteria. There may be even some of us in the Fox Valley that don't quite make it to the traditional definition of a winter weather advisory, which is generally 3 to 5 inches of snowfall in this area. So we'll pick it up at 9 o'clock between now and 11. You'll see the first batch of wet snow start to overspread. Initially, a little bit of a wintry mix or some rain expected, but as we get into things overnight, temperatures cool enough that we will see snowfall. Notice, though, that there are some dry areas. Even here at 1 o'clock in the morning, there's still maybe some, especially Manitowoc and Sheboygan over towards the Fox Cities, that aren't really seeing much in the way of a steady snowfall. But with time, we are going to see the radar fill in, and we would be looking for steady snow showers ongoing for a good part of the early to mid-morning hours of Thursday, and then everything starts wrapping up from west to east between 7 and 9 o'clock. So just at the tail end of the morning commute, we could be looking at some steadier snowfall. We're going to see skies not necessarily turn mostly sunny. It may not be as clear as predictor shows here, but we should at least see some sun breaking through the clouds by the lunch hour. Note those winds up around 20 miles per hour sustained, gusts to 30 or 35 as we go through the afternoon. So once the snow comes to an end, it is going to be a bit on the breezy side, to say the least. In terms of how much snow to expect, I will go ahead and pull up my snowfall map, and then I'll show you a few other options that I have on the system, and we'll go over some of the probabilities of seeing 4 inches of snow or anything like that. So my general call around the Fox cities would be 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches. So as you get down towards Oshkosh and southward, you start bringing some of those higher end totals in. But just calling for 1 to 3 right through Appleton and Green Bay. Lakeside as well, going 1 to 3. I think we'll see a little bit more mixing there towards Manitowoc and Sheboygan, even if one of those heavier, steadier snow bands eventually does end up over Sheboygan. I would expect that we do see a little more melting there than we do farther inland. But from Shawano northward, you again pull those 3 to 5 inch totals into play. Now, it's going to be mild as things get going, so there will likely be some initial melt, and again, there'll be some rain mixing in, and certainly would be looking for some compaction as well. So when you're looking out the door tomorrow, that 3 or 4 inches or so may compress down to 2 inches just because of the heavy, wet nature of the snowfall. Let me find my temperature map here, just check in to see where things are temperature-wise at present. And then go through the lows and give you an idea of what to expect. Let's see, got to scroll through my graphics. I need to do a better, there we go. Need to do a better job of organizing those. So temperatures right now are generally holding in the upper half of the 30s around the Fox cities, where we've seen some thicker clouds start to move in. We're already down into the low 30s there in the North Woods, and that's where we should start to see some of that snow earlier. So initially it sticks right away in those northern areas, but it will take a little bit of time for temperatures to cool down around the Fox Valley as that snow is ongoing. We will see the potential again for 1 to 3 inches around the Fox cities, maybe 2 to 4 a little farther north. If you are looking for the graphics that I like to show here are the realistic high end, realistic low end, and kind of the model consensus. And this actually would give you some high confidence in the totals that we see. So the high end, the 1 in 10 chance that you see this much snow, most of us are in the 4 to 6 inch range. Now on the flip side of that, the 10th percentile is we see at least this much, and you'll notice those of us from the Fox Valley northward in just the 0 to 2 inch range. So we'll see some snow, most of us at least an inch or two, and not more than 4 to 6. So that, again, puts us right in that range of 1 to 3 Fox Valley, and then looking at the potential for maybe some slightly higher end totals where we see those snow bands. This is the 50th percentile, so half of computer guidance from the WPC, the Weather Prediction Center run by our government, would tell you get more than this amount of snow, and the other half would say less, and we're right in that 2 to 4 inch range across just about everybody in the area, but it does drop off as you get into far southern Wisconsin. One other graphic I will show is going to be from the National Weather Service. Now, I pulled these numbers down at about 4 in the afternoon, or 4 in the evening, well, afternoon, evening, however you want to call it. And this is the National Weather Service forecast for tonight through Thursday. And again, you can see lining up fairly close with what I had, 1 to 3 inches on the higher end of that from Wautoma, Wapaka, up through the northern Fox cities and Green Bay, 2 to 4 Oshkosh, 3 to 5 Fond du Lac. Notice they also went with some lower numbers there, Lakeside, and then you see the higher end, the 3s, the 4s, and up to 5 inches as you get into the North Woods. So, not a major snowstorm by any stretch of the imagination, but we have not had accumulating, or at least more than an inch of accumulating snow for more than a month. It was the blizzard back in January, right before we hit the cold snap, was the last real big snow we had. There's some of us that got a little coating earlier this week, but we should see more than that for Thursday morning. Chances of a 4-inch snowfall for northern areas, you're in that moderate range, so about a 50-50 shot as you start getting north of Shawano and Sturgeon Bay. On the Fox Valley side of things, we're in the low end of that scale, so maybe a 1 in 4 type chance, 2 in 5, somewhere in that probability range. So it's on the lower end that we would see upwards of 4 inches or more of snowfall around the Fox cities. Stranger things have happened, but that's just the way it is stacking up right now. Let me go ahead and we'll open this graphic up, and I'll just go ahead and edit it on the fly. I should be able to change the URL. What I'm doing here is I'm going to set this to the chances of a 2-inch snowfall, and just to see how the numbers change from the WPC. So this is computer-generated a computer-generated contour that takes into account the Weather Prediction Center's graphics and all of the computer models they run. 2 inches, So that is the potential for a 2-inch snowfall, and you'll notice that basically the areas that we're looking at the moderate chance, that 50-50 shot or a little bit better of a 4-inch snowfall, are at least in the high range, 4 out of 5 or better, 80% or higher for a 2-inch snowfall. But even around the Fox Cities, Green Bay, we're right in that moderate camp. So again, a 50-50 shot or slightly better than that around the Fox Valley for seeing some of those higher end snow totals upwards of 2 to 3 inches. So I'll go through. Doesn't look like we have too many questions on the Facebook feed. If you have any questions for me, again, I am David Ernst, WBAY meteorologist. You can find me on Facebook. Feel free to message me there, and I'll try and answer them as best I can. Does not appear that anybody would be in line for a major snowstorm or major accumulation, but we will be looking for accumulating snow nonetheless on the lighter side compared to how winter can go, but it will definitely be enough to slick the roads up. And it's been a little over a month since we have had a decent amount of snow coming down. So there will be some slippery travel to be had. When the snow is falling overnight tonight, visibility could be reduced. Granted, it's going to be a nighttime event for the most part, so I don't expect too many issues in that regard just because most folks won't be out on the roads at that time. Once this system moves through, we are looking at a couple of days of actual winter again, where highs will be in the upper 20s and lows perhaps in the teens for a night or two. And in fact, Saturday morning's wind chills are probably on the a few degrees within zero, so you're looking at single digits above and below on Saturday morning for a feels-like temperature. After that, milder air returns, and I will go ahead and leave you with the 7-day forecast here. And I hope you have a great night. Stay safe, and regardless of what happens, and enjoy the little bit of snow that does come through.